I would like to start off by thanking the New Orleans Quarterback Club for allowing John Ehret High School to be here. We are very appreciative of what you guys do for prep sports in the city and also throughout the state of Louisiana. I like to break the season up into three different parts usually. The first part of the season is usually, in our case, we had 3 non-district games, and then you go into the second half, which is usually all district play, and then the third part of the season being the playoffs. So we started off at West Monroe, which is one of the great environments of high school football. We went on the road week 1, and it really was a challenge for us as a program. And so we learned a lot from that game. And so not only did we make the trip, but we did a lot of things well. But at the end of the day, we played hard, but we didn't execute in all 3 phases of the game. And so in order to get a victory on the road at a place like that, you have to execute in all 3 phases. And so after that, we had to go to Hornville, which is also one of the giants in Class 5A football in Louisiana. And really our first 3 opponents are considered giants in Class 5A. And so week 2 was at Hornville, and we really made some corrections and got on track in all 3 phases of the game. We were able to be victorious. And then week 3 was Destrehan. It was our first home game that we hosted for the season, and you know, anyone who was in attendance could tell you that it was what they call an instant classic. It went back and forth. Both teams really played well, and the way I consider how well a team plays is the amount of penalties that you incur during the course of a game. So it was a game which we were fortunate to win because it could have went either way, but we had 3 penalties, and so that's winning football. Our formula is 5 penalties or less, and so the kids understand that I expect us not to have pre-snap penalties and post-snap penalties, and sure, you're going to have some penalties in there when you're hustling, but obviously if you can keep your penalty yardage at a minimum, then you have an opportunity to win the football game. So after a big win with Destrehan, we had West Jefferson, which it's a great rivalry. I've been very fortunate to be on both sides of that rivalry as the head coach at West Jefferson from 2008 to 2013, and there's so many great players and coaches that have graced the sidelines for that rivalry. And so you know, it was a big game, and we ended up pulling it out at the end. We came out, didn't play our best the first half, and then we kind of got on track as the game went on. And then last week, we fared out pretty well against Chalmette, always a tough opponent, well-coached ball club. And so now it's that second phase that we always talk about. So this is strictly district play from here on out. And so, you know, obviously the goal number 1 for any program is you want to be able to win your district, and that can help propel you into the state playoffs. In terms of key players, we have several young men who are being recruited, and you know, I choose not to name them individually, and I will take questions on individuals if you have them, but the main thing with talented kids is the understanding that the team concept is more important than the individual accolades. So what they've been able to do is sacrifice for each other and to play for each other, and it has resulted in success thus far. And so we're very fortunate to have a really good group of seniors, and they have bought into our philosophy in terms of putting team first, minimizing penalties, and really playing the game smart and hard. And so I will open it up for any questions at this time. Anyone has any?
Yeah, raise your hand. Yep.
I guess I have a question. Now that victory against Destrehan is a really good victory because I just worked the Destrehan game and I noticed how deep and athletic they are. Is that going to be a victory that's going to help you get through the rest of the season to get your kids motivated and give them the things they need to overcome some things later on in the season?
Well, sure. Anytime you're able to get a victory against a program like a Destrehan, it's huge for our program going forward, and especially the way that the game went. It was a lot of times when we faced adversity in the course of the football game, and our kids had to overcome. And so the way we win the football game was just as important as actually winning the football game. Thanks for having me.